3. When we begin, your referee in charge of the action, Marcia La Selva.
Nadine Mandiau in the blue tape, originally from Belgium and now fighting out of San Diego, California, taking on Claire Guthrie, originally from Michigan and now training with the Elevation Fight team in Denver, Colorado. We are scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds in the flyweight division, and here we go, guys.
Already these ladies going to work with the very impressive, but right now she's doing some great work against the cage, looking to reap that leg and possibly get a takedown here.
Yeah, Guthrie looks like she got her hands clasped, probably going to get this takedown.
And she got it.
Yeah, doing a nice job keeping pressure, keeping her on the cage. She's looking to get that hand.
You hear the corner of Claire Guthrie calling to put Nadine Mandiau on her side.
Do some work. Where's your left hand working right there? Yeah.
Claire doing a nice job of staying.
Enters this fight 1-1, her one victory coming by way of submission. And she plants Mandiau back down onto the canvas.
Yeah, Mandiau looking for that high guard. Comes out of a 10th Planet gym. May want to utilize some of that rubber guard system right now. It's really tough, though, when your head's pressed against the cage. That seems to always kind of make the rubber guard and even guard work in general less effective when your opponent is good at smashing you against the cage, keeping the hands off of the mat, and staying safe right here while applying pressure, getting some shots in, as she's doing.
That 10th Planet system, though, can be so tricky the first time you face someone or roll with someone who uses that system, because it's different. It's very different than traditional BJJ. It's the second someone puts you in mission control, you're like, what are you doing?
It's got a lot of surprises.
I can't move my head.
That's part of it. A lot of surprises there. You're not used to seeing it, and that's why it's so effective with it.
Claire Guthrie describes her fighting style as well-rounded, but also bullying, and that's what she's doing right now, keeping Mandiau on the canvas, and we are midway through this opening frame.
Yeah, she's in a good position right now. She got Mandiau's right arm trapped right now behind her body. If she could hold that, land some ground and pound, and maybe look to advance her position.
Where's the triangle? Right in the triangle. Put your hips there. There we go. Stay on top. Head in the center. You got the wrist right here. Work with your left hand. Let's go. On her hips.
Claire doing a nice job of staying mostly square to Nadine's hips. It looked for a second like Nadine was going to be able to squeak out and possibly even take the back, but she's doing a good job of following those hips, not allowing for that movement to take place.
Under 2 minutes to go, opening round. Glad you could be a part of LFA number 97 here live on Facebook. A reminder, the main card will kick off at the top of the hour on UFC Fight Pass.
Yeah, that trap hand is really giving her some trouble right now. She's not able to break that free and really protect herself, or use it as a base. You want that, there she goes, she got it free. Now she can start trying to protect her face, or use that right arm as a base to try to get up and swivel up off of the cage.
She looks like she might be trying to set up a triangle here potentially. She's got the right leg jacked up high, looking to possibly pass that arm through, but Claire wise to that move.
Guthrie fishing that arm again, once again has it trapped.
Claire just doing such a nice job of completely smashing Nadine against this cage. I mean, just anything you would typically do on the ground in a BJJ situation is so difficult to execute when you can't put your shoulders down, you can't shrimp out, you just cannot do the things you're trying to do. Like, she's trying to post on the hip there, but the fence is actually preventing her to be able to have the space to do that.
Guthrie continuing to bully Mandiau, two-time Invicta champion or veteran.
She even squeaked in an exhibition bout in one of our Phoenix series fights as well. So kind of has 3 fights, I guess.
Yeah, we'll take that. Made her pro debut in October of 2019, won that via armbar. Went 7-1 as an amateur. It's time ticking down here in round 1, and it's been all Claire Guthrie in this opening frame.
Beautiful work.
There is the horn, and a reminder here in Kansas, the Athletic Commission will use the real-time scoring system, something that I love to see. We'll talk a little bit more about that. I know Laura wants to jump in here right away, but for you, if this is new for you, this is where the commission will show the corners and the fighters
Be any great
that the judges got.
They're living up to the nickname Grizzly.
Marcio La Silva, our referee, gets us started for round number 2. See a little action on the feet to begin this round.
I'd like to see, sorry about that, Ron. I'd like to see Nadine really start putting her jab to work to keep Claire on the outside and prevent what's happening right now, because we know we possibly know how this is going to play out.
Yeah, Guthrie knows what she wants. She's going in there with the hand. She's not really filling out the kicks or anything, trying to use the range. She's trying to barrel in there with the hands, get a double underhook, and get her to the ground again. She feels so confident there in that position. That's the game plan so far.
See if Mandiau can survive this takedown. She cannot. Another big takedown for Claire Guthrie.
Yeah, good job using the underhooks, getting her a takedown. She's in a good position right now, and she's got that arm trapped again. She's probably going to look to pass guard or stay on top right now and then try to do something with that, looking for a choke possibly with that arm steel trapped.
And I think that cage wrestling is something that Claire has really worked on, because in her last fight with Caitlin Salmons and Invicta, that was part of her downfall, was not being able to control Salmons against the cage and get those takedowns. So clearly that's something that she has worked very hard on and is finding success with tonight.
Great point. That was a tough split decision loss to Salmons back at Invicta 41.
If I was Mandiau right now, I would not want to get my head against that cage again. There's nowhere to go once you're there. The door is closed, and as you can see, Claire keeps kind of inching her back toward the cage.
She might not have a choice.
Might not have a choice. She should do her best to try to swivel her hips out, but when you get there, your head's against the cage, your guard becomes a little bit more ineffective. Everything stops working. You have something pressing against you, an object like the cage, pressing against your head. And it gets more and more difficult to get out of that situation.
And we talk about length a lot on the feet, but length is a factor on the ground as well. And when you have very long legs like that, it can be difficult to get those butterflies in, especially when Claire is delivering such heavy top pressure. There's no space to be able to get your butterfly hooks in, get a knee shield, and start creating space so you could get up.
Saw some of the flexibility there by Claire. That was impressive.
That's women's MMA.
Purple belts do much on the ground, all over Mandiau right now.
You can see right there, she's got her arm trapped underneath her leg. Got a sweep right there. Let's see if she can do something with it. Had a potential arm bar, but again, Claire's just so crafty on the ground. You can tell she's a top guard player.
Really high fight IQ there from Guthrie.
Good job by Nadine getting back to her feet. Let's see if she can do something with it.
Absolutely, but Guthrie just continuing to clinch, has scored a couple of takedowns and brought Mandiau down onto the canvas. So we are just past the 2-minute mark. Second round. Guthrie and Nadine Mandiau. Second prelim here on Facebook.
Nadine is fighting so hard for this frame here with her left hand, and she had it there momentarily, and those are the opportunities you need when you're just being absolutely, pinned against this cage like a spear.
Yeah, Guthrie's just, she's relentless. There we go. Now finally opened up, see if she can utilize some of her striking.
Let's get that jab going.
Yeah.
She's got to keep that distance for sure. High kick blocked by Guthrie. Guthrie punching her way in. Once again, looking for that takedown. She gets it.
Great job by Claire, putting her back on the cage, not letting her breathe. As soon as she started throwing some strikes, she was in her face again, putting her back on the mat.
Really executing her game plan to perfection. Strong wrestling background.
Nadine comes from a good camp, but I'm a big believer that you have to train in a gym that has a cage, or at the very least a wall, and practice your jiu-jitsu.
Great point.
Stuck in a right angle, because it's a completely different game, as you say, Alan. It really shuts a lot of stuff down, particularly when you're looking to do those flexible moves that 10th Planet, is so known for.
We get ready for the final round. We check out the live scoring here used by the this bout, guys, and that's the one thing I do enjoy about the real-time scoring. We know Mandiau needs a finish if she's going to win.
And I was just going to say, if I was Nadine's corner, I would say, let's abandon the kicks. Those can be caught so easily. Let's get the jab going. And we got to get some lateral movement going as well, because when she backs up straight like that, we see what happens. Claire is able to, once again, pin her against the side of the octagon.
I was thinking the same thing. When you're throwing those high kicks a bit off balance, you're going to get taken down again. And we saw that's exactly what's starting to happen.
Guthrie gets a shot through.
Big overhand, big overhand.
Nadine having some opportunities this round. You know, she's down 2 rounds. This is the final round. She's got some opportunities on the feet. Let's see if she can make something happen right here. Wouldn't be a bad idea to let her hands go a little bit more and see if she can make something happen.
Again, this is the first fight at flyweight for Nadine Mandiau. All previous fights were at strawweight. Under 4 to go.
That's actually a really good point, Ron, too, because, you know, fighting in a completely different weight class, you're not used to the strength of your opponents. In some ways, you're not used to how your body feels inside the octagon at that weight. I'm seeing her, you know, feeling like she's a little bit labored here. And that might be a result of this new weight class just not, you know, being adjusted to it yet.
These ladies are starting to trade some leather right now. This is Nadine's best round so far. She's having a little success in her feet right now. Big shot by Claire coming with the Superman.
Comes right back, yeah.
Ladies are smiling right here. This is getting into a
They've
fun
been
fight.
smiling the whole time. It's kind of creeping me out. I'm not gonna lie.
They're having a good time in there.
There you go.
Hope you are too, enjoying this second prelim on Facebook. LFA and 97 from the Hartman Arena in Wichita, Kansas.
Nadine needs to fight for her life right now, not to go to the ground. She's having some success on the feet right now. It's the last round of the fight. Getting to the ground right here, she's going to have to try to get back to her feet, otherwise it's not going to be good going to the judges.
Looks like someone might be cut. You see a little blood on the elbow. Mandiau. She might have done some damage getting some of those shots through. But she's in a tough position, a position she's been in for most of this fight.
You can hear Claire's coaches. I mean, they're spot on with one another. You can tell her, put her back against the cage, pressure her, push her down.
Look at this.
Almost had the back there.
Yeah.
Close. Almost a nice escape and transition from Mandiau, but Guthrie continuing to bully her opponent.
Yeah, you can see a little bit of that 10th planet background right there by Mandiau. Looks like she was probably going for like a swim move, armbar type of sweep position, but it's just the pressure from Claire that's not allowing her to get up.
If she can get that hook with that left leg of hers, it might give her enough leverage, but, you know, Claire Guthrie just doing such a good job following the hits here.
Powers her way out. Grizzly in control of this fight.
Coaches are on top of it again, telling her, get your hips up, get the high hips, you'll be on top, you'll be in the advantageous position. Once again, she gets Nadine back below her, at least level-wise.
Alan, ever since you made that bear analogy, all I could think about is that Leonardo DiCaprio movie where he fights the bear. I don't remember the name of it, but that's all I could see.
Yeah. He's a huge, jeez, okay, he's just a Leonardo DiCaprio fan. All right, I know that.
Whatever, a very knowledgeable movie expert. Apologies for misunderstanding your role, sir.
Under a minute to go in the final round. And you can never relax here with Mandiau in that 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu background. She does need a finish.
Yeah, not much time to look for a finish. I mean, she might have to try to throw up a submission. I don't think if she's able to get her scrambled that she's going to have enough time to do something, even on the feet. Maybe she has an attempt at a triangle or something right here. But, again, Claire Guthrie's corner, I can't help but keep hearing. They're on top of everything. They seem to be a step ahead of her as far as where the hip position should be, head on the cage, and just putting her in the high percentage position to get this win.
And getting some strikes through, finishing this fight strong. Claire Guthrie representing the Elevation Fight team in Denver. 7-1 as an amateur. And she